Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Thomas Brown Jr., and I'm one of the co-hosts for the undisputed, up-and-coming, unstoppable show in all of Team NBS media, Off the Dome. We are here. We're live in the flesh, baby. Welcome to the show. Thank you all who are able to tune in. We got a lot on tap for today, man. We got a lot on tap for today. We have the wonderful Stephon Diggs trade to Houston that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Embiid's return this past Tuesday and what he did yesterday. What's going on, Christy? What's going on, man? What's going on? And we're going to definitely talk about WRESTLEMANIA. We got a lot of things to talk about. Also, we're going to cap it off with the things that we wish we could still do as adults that we can't do no more because we're adults, but we wanted to do them as kids. All right, so, whoo! Let's talk about that Stephon Diggs trade, shall we? So the Buffalo Bills decided it was a great idea to trade Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen's top wideout, to Houston for nothing. As we are joined by our other co-host here, Mr. Brock VIERRA. How are we doing, sir?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing great. We were just talking about the Stephon Diggs trade, just giving a breakdown real fast. So Houston trades for Stephon Diggs and only gives up a 2025 second rounder. And that's about it. You want to know why that's about it? Because the Bills found a way to give Houston not only Stephon Diggs, but some more draft capital. And get this, we're going to eat up $31 million out of his salary too. Because why not? It's a lot to unpack here. What's your thoughts when you saw the news about the trade?
It was, I guess, about time. I mean, the relationship between Stephon Diggs and the Bills has been deteriorating for years. He didn't look like the same player he was on the back end of last season. I'm not too sure if that's just his ability or just his desire to be a part of the Bills, but I think that the fact that they had to give up picks proves that there really wasn't too much of a market for a player like Stephon Diggs. And, I think it's a good move on both sides. Yeah, it's a massive cap hit, but it seems like he was becoming a locker room cancer. And sometimes you got to move on, so that you just got to bite the bullet. So I think for the future of the Bills, this is the right decision. And at least they were able to get something from it. And more importantly, they were able to get out of having him, at that time, he had 3 years left on his deal. So he's 30 years old. He's not getting any younger. And I think it was the right move for both sides.
I know you very, very well, Mr. VIERRA. I was prepared for the most outrageous response, and I didn't get it. But you know what? No need to fear, because I'll be doing that when it comes to this trade. Let me tell you something right now, okay? So when I saw that the trade happened, my initial thoughts was, oh my God, this is really happening, right? Then a part of me was like, okay, what did the trade involve? So I'm thinking, all right, well, it's Stephon Diggs. This is a guy that last year had, only another 1,000-yard season, 1,183 yards to be exact, 8 touchdowns and 107 receptions last year. Nothing crazy, but that's a production that he did last year, all things considered. And I'm thinking, okay, he's probably gonna the Bills probably gonna get back like 2 seconds, maybe a first, depending on how Houston views them. And the only thing you get back is a 25-second rounder. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's all we got. And by the way, this is how much that we're done with him. We're going to eat up $30 million of his salary. What? it drove me insane. And for Houston, who not only got Stephon, but got more draft capital back, I'm looking at a Houston Texans team, and I'm like, okay, wait a second. CJ Stroud, Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell comes back, Dalton Schultz. Oh, did I forget about Dameon Pierce? Oh, yeah, he's going to be a factor in that running back duo as well. I'm like, huh. So not only did Houston get better, this has got to be one of the greatest turnarounds from a franchise in such a short amount of time that I've ever seen. Ever. And the fact that I guess I'm more so appalled with the fact that Buffalo didn't get anything out of it. Like all they got was a 25-second rounder. I'm sorry. Unless that thing turns into, a primetime receiver, or maybe it turns to another trade that we don't know about. Shout out to the Mass Podcast, man. Thank you for checking in.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mark Wilson showing love, much appreciated, bro.
For sure, absolutely. It just threw me for a loop. I'm like, I would understand if this was a guy that just was struggling to stay healthy, or his production was off last year, and it was just like, you know what, it's just not working out. Your age already doesn't help it. Okay, got it. This guy still had another 1,000-yard season. I don't understand. I don't understand.
Jesus. I mean, I kind of do, because I think if you're the Bills, you gotta look at it like this. One, 31 other NFL teams had an opportunity to make a solid bid for him, and it seems like this is the best deal that they could get, which shows that there's not too much of an interest around the league for a player like Diggs. Probably because of his contract at 30 years old. Everyone's hearing the locker room rumors. Everyone saw his exit from Minnesota. There's a lot of concern with him of how he's going to be off the field. And then you look at the fact of, if you're the Bills, like, it took this long for them to move on from him. I'm sure that they've been shopping him for a while, and this was like the best deal they could come up with.
Why shop him? I still have a couple years left on the contract. What we shop him for?
Because the thing is, we don't know the inside baseball of what Stephon Diggs is like in Buffalo. Because it looked like in the end, like, they all hated to be there. Like, it seemed like Diggs hated Buffalo. Buffalo hated him. Like, the chemistry between him and Josh Allen wasn't there anymore. They weren't playing Call of Duty on the weekends after games. They weren't going out to the local dive bars. All right, they weren't going on double dates. Like, it seemed like it was over. So with that being said, you sometimes just gotta bite the bullet. What I don't understand is the lack of vision for the Bills front office. Like this relationship didn't sour yesterday. Like, we saw it unfolding over months last season. You already lost Gabe Davis. You have the 28th overall pick. You didn't think to invest in the receiver room any sooner. Like, you didn't think that this thing was going awry, like, at any time. We're also seeing the effect of them trying to go all in with Josh Allen and see some of their latest moves not really pay off. Von Miller, they signed to a huge contract, and he hasn't really I don't want to blame him because he got injured his first year, but he
Yeah.
wasn't like that spectacular his second year.
Mhm.
They really haven't handled the Trey White injury situation well, and now he's a Ram. Their
Yep.
secondary is basically depleted, and their secondary has been getting old for a long time. Like the only
Yeah.
reason DeMar Hamlin is famous is because obviously that hit on Monday Night Football that almost took his life. But the only
Mhm.
reason he was on that field is because their secondary was already depleted. Jordan Poyer had an injury history, and he was older. Michael Hyde injury history, older.
Yep.
Trey White injury history, he's getting older. Who's they're like super good DB? Kaiir Elam, is that is that it?
Right.
Tyron Johnson, maybe. But Tyron plays nickel, so that doesn't really help. So you
No.
already got a deficiency in your secondary. You already have a
Okay.
clear deficiency as a wide receiver.
Uh-huh.
They've had to shift around a lot of pieces at offensive line. They've
Mhm.
got a lot of holes that they're gonna have to take care of in the next 12 months. And it seems that if they would have any opportunity to change their narrative in 2025, they just have to kind of roll with the punches in 2024. And one of those things is getting Diggs' contract off the books so they can make adequate free agent signings next season. But then at the
Mm.
same time, you're also losing a potential year of Josh Allen in his prime because
Mhm.
you didn't have the foresight to realize maybe this relationship wasn't working out. When I've been talking about in the last season, but we've been seeing the cracks in this for years now. And
Yeah.
again, if Sean McDermott and Brandon Mean focus more on the situation of the team instead of saying, praising Al Qaeda, maybe this thing could have been resolved in a better way, and that they could have got more value for him. But the fact that they could only get a second while having to give up late round picks for him just proves that
Uh-huh.
there wasn't a trade market for him anyway, and that they really didn't think this one through.
Okay. So, and this is going to lead to something that I've been saying for years. And
Okay.
I know I'm not the only one that's been saying this. This is why when we have conversations about quarterbacks that want the big money,
Uh-huh.
this is it's situations like this that's like why franchises hold back on it. It's not
Okay.
that we don't want to pay them. It's not like we don't think that you're great. It's not that we don't think that you're capable of having to carry the franchise. We're not saying any of those things. What we're also saying is you're not about to throw us under the bus, get me fired, get that person fired, because we have no salary cap room to get anybody else. Because we invested that 5-year extension, $250 million deal on one player, leaving the room for everybody else to be like, oh, in limbo, can't get anybody else. We're just basically getting a whole bunch of who's who and who knows what. It's like, what do you really want? What do you really want us to do here? What do you really want us to do here? And that's the whole thing with the whole Josh Allen issue, is that I know everybody wants to say, oh, Josh Allen is missing on his number one wide receiver and this, that, and the third. I'm like, yeah. But this is what you get when you decide to pay him that much money, knowing what other contracts you had on the books. You know that Von Miller was going to be expensive when you paid for him. You know that Stephon Diggs was going to be expensive when you paid for him. You know that Tre'Davious White was going to be expensive when you decide to re-sign him again. Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, the list goes on and on. All these different contracts, these expensive contracts, on top of that you decide to add on your books on top of paying Josh Allen. So you knew that your window was short. You knew that you didn't have much time. And so now that it's not panning out. And oh, by the way, let's not sit up there and act like last year wasn't the best year to have a chance at winning the Super Bowl because of how much the Chiefs were struggling and how much you had from top to bottom. You had a chance of beating a Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, how much you had the win streak that you had towards late of the year, winning the division. The list goes on and on. It was a front row seat to the Super Bowl last year. And you missed on an opportunity. So now that you missed up on it, now we're having to backtrack and we're like, let's trade our best wideout for getting nothing. My thing is, if you are going to trade a wide receiver one, because that's what Stefon Diggs is.
Yes.
I'm expecting to get something in lump sum in return.
Yes.
Maybe it's not a first round pick because of his age. That's fine. Maybe it's not a multiple third rounders or something like that. That's fine. But I am expecting it, and maybe like you said, maybe it's just because of the market that he had. But again, I don't know why you're having to shop somebody when you have him on the books for as long as he has, for as much money that he has. I don't necessarily understand that. But if I am going to trade him, I'm gonna need some lump sum in return. I'm gonna need 2 second rounders maybe next year, and then 2/3 the following year, or something along those lines. Give me a 5th rounder for this year to cap it all off. We'll take his salary, and we'll roll the punches that way. But at the very least, our draft capital will be in return. But you only come away with a 2025 second rounder? That's it? That's insane to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong, but again, it just shows the devaluation of a player once they hit a certain age.
Yeah, that's true. And talking about someone who initially was devalued due to injuries, and we're starting to get a conversation about his age. Actually, that's kind of nasty to say. Anyways, let's talk about the Joel Embiid return, ladies and gentlemen. And I gotta admit, I was very hesitant when I saw the news that he was coming back this past Tuesday. I didn't understand why they decided to have him come back when they could have easily had him come back during the playoffs, giving him more time to rest and heal up. But you know what? From the past 2 games, shout out to Joel Embiid, man. My God. 24.6 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals in his return game against the Thunder. Now, granted, they didn't have Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and sure, they didn't have Jalen Williams. Boo-hoo, woo. Whatever. Don't care. 24, 6, 7, and 3 on your return. And 8 for 8 from the line. I'm sorry. That's about as good as good can get. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But then on top of that, last night, you have 29 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and a block with 33 minutes played. This is not like they're on a minutes restriction with him. He's come back, and in his first game was 29 minutes, and then yesterday was 33. So I got to ask, man, what is your thoughts on his return and his production so far? Because it's amazing with what he's been able to do already.
Yeah, no, it's very exciting if you're a 76ers fan for him to come back and not be as rusty as one would expect him to be. I think it was the right move to bring him back early so he can get back into rhythm before they try and make a postseason push. But at least for me anyway, and maybe it's my biases that I mentioned last episode, until I see him have solid production. True, very true, Mark, and for good reason. Until I see him have solid production in the postseason, it really means nothing to me, right?
Okay,
I'm
that's fair.
hoping for good things for him, but at the same time, I have yet to see him take that step to where I feel confident in saying that this automatically puts Philadelphia back in the driver's seat. Because where are they right now in the standings? Like 6th, 7th, like
7th, I believe. Yeah.
yeah. So there's still a playing spot. So that means that there's an extra right now. There's an extra playoff game at least. He's gonna have to play it. We don't really know how well his body's going to handle and hold up. And when you start going through the grind of a 6-game, 7-game series, considering the roster the 76ers have, can he sustain that effort? The good part is that there is no more James Harden, so there's no more the kind of that ball hogging thing. So basically, the buck stops with him.
Right.
Now, whether that plays out again, time will tell.
Right.
Not confident about it, but very impressive from what I see from him so far.
Okay. Look. Call me crazy. Call me whatever else. The mere fact that there was even a notification that hit everybody's phone that he was going to play Tuesday, knowing that we are only 6 to 5 games away from the playoffs, the play-in especially.
Yeah.
Had me raise an eyebrow. It only had me raise an eyebrow because I'm going to have to take shots at the 76ers here, because this is a franchise that is notorious for having to expedite players returning, specifically Embiid, from injury when they didn't need to, right? I remember as recent as the 2021 playoffs where they had the series against the Hawks, and he had a torn meniscus before then or something along those lines. It was bad. And we thought for sure Joel Embiid was getting packed up. He was getting sent to the gulags, out for the year. We'll see you next year. That was all it was going to be.
Yeah.
He came back in that same series. Obviously, they go on to lose that series. Probably more so because Ben Simmons decided that, I'm 6'11" and I'm not going to dunk the ball instead of a pass out of it. But hey, that's neither here nor there. Joel Embiid came back not even 100%. And I'm raising the eyebrow again because you could have very easily had him wait to get back towards the play-in, towards the playoffs. That way you could have more time for him to get healthy, for him to be more 100%. They did a post-game interview with him after the game against the Thunder. And he the only thing he kept saying was, look, I've always wanted to come back, but they kept delaying it. But as I was out there, it was more so of a mental thing. He just kept repeating that it was a mental thing. I felt like that was done intentionally. You do not say that without identifying the fact that in the back of your mind, you're feeling some sort of pressure from the 76ers to come back out there when you feel like you're not even completely 100% yourself. That is a problem. I hope that, we don't have a resurfacing of an injury again. That is the hope, obviously. But the simple fact that is what he continued to keep reiterating had me raise an eyebrow. And then on top of that, for him to already have 30 points, 4 rebounds, the fact that he's getting assists the fact that he's getting steals, on the defensive end is bothering me. Because you at 7 foot, I don't expect for you to be that hands-on in the passing lanes, but that's apparently what he does, which is cool. I just think the fact that maybe you can make the argument that he returned too soon, and that it may come back to bite him when they go against a Cleveland Cavaliers team where there's nothing but bigs, or a Pacers team where they just run nothing but straight offense and they barely play defense. So you're going to have nothing but a back and forth shootout all game long. How much is that going to have an impact on Embiid and his health? the list goes on about different matchups, different teams that could easily give the Sixers hell, not so much because of them, but because, and again, it's just me personally,
Yeah.
Joel Embiid is still not 100%. And I don't think that I can't sit right with that. I'm sorry. I just can't. I just can't. But hey, again, Embiid, boy, keep doing your thing, man. But just do it at your own pace. Cause I don't have time to have another news cycle about him, being out for an extended amount of time. He's been a great player all year this year. Before he got hurt, there was, he was in the MVP conversation. Ahead of that MVP conversation, might I add, with the historic numbers that he was putting up at the time. But look, be careful, have fun, Embiid, and hopefully we see more of you in the playoffs. And just get past the play-in, please. Brock doesn't believe in you, but I have faith. Kind of.
I don't know why you have faith, but I do appreciate your faith and your candor when it comes to Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
The question that I have for everyone that is an Embiid defender, which I understand why you are, like, not like you, but like I'm just talking like in general, right?
Yeah. Right.
Like, this is a dude that is notorious for skipping out on primetime matchups against other massive bigs. This is a player that's notorious for not getting it done in the playoffs. This is a player that's notorious for blaming his teammates. This is a player that's notorious for being injured. This is a player that is notorious for not winning. This is a player that's notorious for not getting it done. This is a player that's notorious for not even making a conference finals despite being the 3rd overall pick. This is a player that's... Mark, you got to get off this train. This is not a personal attack against Joel. I'm just stating the facts. All right? Like, I'm sorry.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, though.
I mean, I get it to an extent to where, like, he's had really awful coaching up to this point.
Yeah.
Especially with Doc Rivers. And I do think Nick Nurse can turn that around, as we've kind of been seeing already. But again, what gives you the belief, the faith, the idea that this guy can go and win the Eastern Conference? Do you think he beats Boston? Do you think he beats Cleveland? Maybe Cleveland. I don't know too much about Boston.
Let me tell you something right now. We talked about it last week about how we feel about Boston. They are one choke job away.
Yeah, but if Boston was going up against a competent franchise, I would be saying, yeah, I agree. But it's the Sixers.
It's the Sixers.
All right, so right now, the 76ers are currently 8th in the standings, right? So that means if the season ended today, they would be playing the Miami Heat on the road.
Ooh, don't trust that.
Don't trust that. So in that situation, the Sixers would then play the winner of the Bulls and the Hawks. And
they should win that. You don't think so?
Who do you think wins, Bulls or Hawks?
Ooh, I think Hawks gets that one.
I think Hawks gets it too. I'm sorry to Christy. I know she loves her Chicago Bulls, but like I'm gonna go with the ATL. So now we're gonna have a matchup at home between the Hawks and the Sixers. I think the Sixers can get past the Hawks because of no Trae Young, right? So
whoops, yeah.
So all right. So in that scenario, the Sixers are the 8th seed.
Right.
They would have to play Boston, with Boston having a home advantage. Now, we saw the 8th seed last year beat the 1 seed in the East, so it's possible, but I don't really see that happening.
Yes.
Hypothetically, let's say they get past Boston and 6, right? I think it's a good number. The 4 and 5 matchup is the Magic and the Knicks. God, I love the Orlando Magic theme song. God, it's such a great song. But I think the Knicks get past the Magic in this one. I think Brunson goes supernova in the playoffs again.
Okay.
So now,
Okay.
oh my God,
Interesting.
could you imagine a Sixers and Knicks playoff matchup? Oh, that'd be so good. Yeah, I think about it. Right. Even a Sixers, I mean, even a Knicks Boston matchup is good. But for this scenario, so in this scenario, does the Sixers get past the Celtics and the Knicks to even make the conference finals?
No. You lost me. You lost me at Boston. I know I was joking, but you lost me at Boston because Boston is just that much of a complete team from top to bottom that not one guy should be able to be on its own. Like that just shouldn't be the case. Now New York though, that is a toss up in my personal opinion, just for the simple fact that Julius Randle's not there. Yo, is Mitchell Robinson still playing basketball? Like, what is going on? Like, it's like the whole Knicks front court is just like decimated. And I think
that's what happens when Tibbs runs your ass 47 out of 48 minutes.
There you go. There you go.
Like remember the scene in Airplane when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is playing the pilot, and he's like, imagine fucking trying to have to carry Bill Walton ass up the court 48 minutes a game. Yeah, that's the Thibs coaching philosophy. Like Thibs has two answers to basketball. Either your ass is grass and we're running it to the ground, or even worse, here's Taj Gibson.
Oh my God. Taj Gibson.
Love it, believe it. That's this answer to everything. You're either gonna get a heavy dose of 48-minute plays from our starters, or I'm calling old ass Taj Gibson and like bring him in. If you were on like the 2011 Bulls, you have a job for life as long as Thibs is in the league. The amount of times I have seen Taj Gibson with Derrick Rose, I'm pretty sure he would sign Luol Deng if he was still available. Like, yeah.
Get the band back together, man.
Get the band back together. Like, mentally, I think Thibs is still stuck on like the exact moment where Derrick Rose tore his ACL in the playoffs. I think mentally he's still in that moment. He's been trying to recreate it for the past decade.
Oh, wait, what though? The moment?
That Bulls team.
Oh, just the Bulls team. Oh, yeah. I was about to say, yo, this
he's not a sadist. Jesus Christ. Also, shout out Derrick Rose for having a great relationship between himself and his baby mamas. I just saw a picture of like him like having like one baby mama 1 over here, baby mama 2 over here, kids in front. All right, he just like me and my boy Mark Wilson. If it ain't snowing, we ain't going.
Shout out to D Rose, dog.
Shout D Rose. Shout to Mark Wilson. Shout to the Snow Buddies of America. Love you, long time.
Oh my God. Yo, what is going on right now? I love it. Oh, man. Okay. Well, speaking of things that's here, there, and everywhere, let's talk about WrestleMania weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have a lot to discuss, man. This is the biggest WrestleMania of all time, and not just because the logo has the XL on it for all you sizers out there. It's about as big can get, man. And this is where the nerd side of me, I guess you could say, comes out, because I am a huge watcher of the WWE to this day, to where I can openly and freely discuss it to a manner where I am relatively passionate about it in a casual way. By the way, the intro was a huge shout out to Paul Heyman, who is inducted into the Hall of Fame for this upcoming year. Shout out to Paul Heyman. Definitely the greatest manager of all time, being inducted by the Tribal Chief, the King of Island of Relevancy, Roman Reigns. As we'll get to him in a little bit. But there is a lot to take in here, and I don't even know where to start. I guess we can start with night one. Night one has the battle of the Usos, Jimmy and Jay going against one another. Sami Zayn and Gunther going against one another for the Intercontinental Championship. Very excited about that. That may be match of the weekend, personally. Then you have the tag match between Seth freaking Rollins and Cody Rhodes versus The Rock and Roman Reigns. Whoever wins that match determines whether the main event of night two is a strict one-on-one match or bloodline rules, baby. And then of course you also have the Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley for the women's title as well. That's going to be pretty good. That's on just night one. Okay. And by the way, I'll just give you my predictions real fast while we're at it.
Let's do it.
Okay. So let's start off with the Usos. Obviously the storyline has kind of been meh by itself. Obviously their matchup is blooming off the fact that the Bloodline storyline is as great as it is. And obviously it's just as simple. Every time Jey Uso is going after a title, who's the one that's screwing him over? His brother Jimmy. Every single time. U.S. title, Intercontinental title, tag titles, you name it, Jimmy's screwing him. So I think that for this matchup, it's only fitting that Jay finds a way to get the job done. And they just go out. They just go out. They have a good match. And it's Jay that takes it. What you think?
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with you on that one. I think that's the storyline that they've been setting up for a long time, and I think there's much more to say. I completely agree with you. Okay,
so there's that. Then we have, and I'm so excited about this one. Well, actually, I'm a little bit more excited than others, but that's just the people involved. Sami Zayn versus Gunther for the IC title. Now, for those of you that don't know or have been living under a rock or haven't been watching, it's totally fine. We're here to educate you. That's what you're here for.
Absolutely.
Gunther has been the Intercontinental Champion for almost 700 days. Okay. For those of you who are not keeping track, that is almost 2 years. And by the way, oh, okay. Gunther will win. Interesting. Gunther is in a faction called Imperium, where he is the leader of that group.
Leader of the Nazis.
Oh, here you go. You couldn't help yourself. I love it. Yeah. So usually when you're in a faction and you're a bad guy, usually the only way that you keep the title as long as he has is by basically cheating or involving the other two involved in each of his matches, so that way he can retain the title.
Correct.
The problem is Gunther doesn't do that. Gunther is is the type of champion to where I'm just that good that I can beat you by myself with no help, with no cheating, and there's nothing that you can do about it.
Facts.
And I think that within itself is enough to warrant him retaining here. However, I would not be shocked. I would be remiss if I did not bring up about how great of a run Sami Zayn has had over the last 2 years. This is a guy who has carried the moniker of the underdog from the underground. How ironic that this match would be held in Philadelphia. The whole Rocky movie coming into play in this match per se. Underdog from the underground. This guy hasn't had a individual WrestleMania moment yet. Obviously, you can pinpoint to last year with the storyline he had with the Bloodline, with him and Kevin Owens winning the tag titles against the Usos in night one of WrestleMania 39, which, by the way, was one of the greatest matches of all time.
I'm about to say, what a storyline! What a story! What a masterclass in storytelling! That whole saga.
Boy, beautiful, chef's kiss. Okay, but he hasn't had that individual moment yet.
Yes,
and you would love to think that this year would be his time, but I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It ain't happening. I'm sorry. I just don't see it happening. They kind of drove this storyline too fast. They only built it in 2 weeks, 2 weeks time. If we're being totally honest, everybody's been practically behind Chad Gable versus Gunther. So the fact that it's not Chad Gable is kind of throwing everybody in a riot. Not saying that this has anything to do with Sammy, but unfortunately, this is just not the time. Although, would I be mad if he finds a way to pull off the upset? Absolutely not. Because I think he'll do great for both people. I think Sammy would get his opportunity. I think Sammy gets his moment. And then also, Gunther can just go straight to the main event scene and start going after the world title in due time. So that's what I think on that one. What about you?
Fair. I kind of have to agree with you. It seems very rushed, and also I think that they're building up Gunther for a world title run. Now, I think the main question is, who is that title run going to be against? Right? Is it good? And so there's 2 major title runs in the men's right now, and that's obviously Gunther, and then you also have Roman Reigns, right? That historic run.
Yeah.
Which one of them has to go this WrestleMania, in my opinion. But the question becomes, which one? I'm not too sure. And quite frankly, I don't know how they're going to play it. Because before, I would say, Reigns' time is done. But now when you add in the element of The Rock, right, who has done a great job on his heel turn.
Oh, so good.
Fucking incredible. So good, right? So with that being said, whose title do you sacrifice first? Right, and do you think Sammy's ready for that push? Do you think it's the Cody Rhodes showtime? But the problem is, if you do the Cody Rhodes showtime, it does delay the ability for a Gunther kind of run, because they would have to finish out that storyline with Roman. Like, Cody would have to beat him again, a couple times. And how long can you put Gunther on the bench? But at the same time, do you really want a double champ with Gunther? Is that the guy you want to back? And if so, do you want him to defeat Cody Rhodes, who you're just now elevating as champion? Or do you think he's the guy to take down the great force that's Roman? But if you think he's the guy to take down the great force that's Roman, does that really lift Gunther in a way that's beneficial to the company while also dropping Roman? I don't know. I honestly don't know, bro.
Look, here's my only problem with that. It's Gunther. Okay, I like things that make sense, and I trust that what Triple H is cooking behind the scenes, which, by the way, shout out to Triple H for
Shout
cooking
out
up
to
one of
Triple
the-
H.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus, just banger after banger.
It is unbelievable what he's been able to do as far as storytelling is concerned. So I have complete trust in what he decides to do. Right.
I agree.
I do think with Gunther though, you have to understand when it's time to pull the trigger, because if he retains, which I believe he will, you're going to have to build up someone that's going to take the title from him, which is why I personally would have him keep it until Bash of Berlin. And then it's him versus Ilya Dragunov, which I think he does get called up somewhere in that time frame.
Okay.
And they go at it for the IC title. Now, for those of you that don't know who Ilya Dragunov is, he is the NXT heavyweight champion for the developmental brand down there. And the matches that them two have had over the years, boy, it's definitely worth bringing that back. So that's how I would do it. Also, I think it's one of those things where it's okay. It's okay for Gunther to retain. I just don't trust, because whoever does take the title away from him has to take the mantle of, hey, I just beat the most historic, prolific Intercontinental Champion of all time. Yeah. And I could carry it without dropping the ball. So, and I don't think there's really that person that's there yet. I know everybody loves Chad Gable. I don't necessarily see it in terms of having to carry that mantle. That's just me personally. But you know what I'm saying? We shall see. But I think Gunther retains on this one. Now, the lovely tag match to main event night 1 between The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins.
So excited.
I don't think there's ever been a match built to such a tremendous degree than this. I'm so serious. I don't think there's ever been a main event match that's been built so well, so thought out, so like paced to the umph degree than this match right here. And I'm gonna just keep it short and simple. I think it's only fitting that Roman and Rock win this match, simply because, Cody, you really think you're going to finish that story, huh? Well, think about just seeing that storyline within itself is that. Hey, that's all I need. That's all I need right there. I just don't think it makes sense for Seth and Cody to win. Although I know everybody would love to have the one-on-one match, I just think you can, and we're going to get to it too. There is so much more light that you could put into when it comes to the main event of night 2 than just that one-on-one match. But that's just me. But by the way, what The Rock is doing right now, boy, I ain't gonna lie, he's been carrying this entire storyline by himself, and I love it. I love it so much.
I just think it just goes to show how great of a performer The Rock is. I mean, for him to come back at this stage of what his life and secondly his career, and to be as iconic as he's always been, to be able to turn heel at this age, to be able to deliver performance after performance after performance on the mic and on his stage presence and everything. It just shows, one, how good he is, but two, the health of the company.
Yeah.
Like, I think that they were saying that what is his name? Michael for the Freebirds. What is his name? Michael the old dude. You know who I'm talking about, right?
I know I'm talking. I know you're talking about.
And him and Bobby Roode were the guys that have been producing his past couple scenes. Like
really? Didn't know that.
Yeah, I just found that out. Like, when I tell you the work that those guys have been doing, and honestly, the work of the producers there, like, over the past several years. I think Tyson Kidd.
Yep.
What was Kurt Angle's like son's name? That his
Alleged son, Jason Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan's been a hell of a good producer, hella lately, and it just shows. It just shows the health of the company and how good the company can be when Vince McMahon isn't calling all the shots, like all the shots. You know, so
Michael Hayes. There you go.
Michael Hayes. There we go.
There you go.
The thing is, at least for me anyway, is that Reigns' title has to come to an end, and this is a title reign that started because of McMahon, right? Because Reigns has been McMahon's boy. Are you ready? Are you ready as head man to start pulling that trigger? Because that's Pandora's box. Once you open it, you cannot close it. Like, I don't know if he's ready to do that. If I'm being honest with you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna put a pin on that one, because when we fast forward to night 2,
I also want to say I think whoever wins night 1 also wins night 2.
Interesting.
The general consensus on these are typically whoever wins night 1 loses night 2, right?
Yes.
I think Triple H gives us the old "fuck you," and he goes, whoever wins night 1 wins night 2.
Wow, interesting. Okay.
Because honestly, I think here's what I think is gonna happen. I think Roman is gonna defeat Cody.
Okay.
Right. But The Rock is gonna help him, obviously, and then they're gonna set up Roman versus The Rock. For who's the real chief of the table, who's the real head of the table.
Interesting. All right, we'll keep that in mind when we talk about this one. Okay, cool. So as we get to night 2, I tell you, if this match starts out night 2, I'm going to be pumped for the rest of the show. AJ Styles versus LA Knight. Yeah. This feud has been. It started out very slow. I ain't gonna lie. It's been a slow grind, but boy, oh boy, when it picked up, it picked up. And by the way, shout out to Triple H for using the callback of showing up to people's houses and beating them up. It's kind of, I'm starting to realize it's kind of his thing these days.
I legitimately thought Triple H committed home invasion against Randy Orton like years ago. Like when I tell you I was shooketh on Monday night. Okay, so let me tell the story from the beginning. So I grew up in Hawaii, right? And because of that, I think our start times for Monday Night Raw was 9:00 in the evening. So I would only be able to like watch maybe an hour before my bedtime because I was still in school, right? So I had the old like VHS tape system. So what I would do is I would watch Raw from 9 to 10, and then I would tape. I think it was 3 hours, or was it still 2 at this point? Whatever it was.
Still 2. Yeah.
I would take that. I would record on an actual VHS tape the next hour. And then I would watch it in the morning before school. So when I tell you that when I did that, I want to tell you, my mindset was I was fucked up for the whole day. Like it was. I thought Triple H was going to jail. I thought he was going to jail. Like holy shmikeys, that was so good, so good. When he tackled him, when he tackled him through the glass, and the cops just roll it up, like cinema,
so good,
cinema. Oh my god, cinema.
Oh my god, that was so good.
Because the wife, they're having an interview, and the wife walks away, and like I didn't really think much of it. I'm like, what like Randy at that time was like in his
menace
era, madness. He kicked Stephanie like in the head. And then he kicked
punch
in the head. He was punching everybody, right? And then then they set up so good too because he won the Royal Rumble at that point after the big like fight. So he goes up and he goes, well, I'm gonna go fight Edge because Triple H will be spending WrestleMania in jail. I was like, oh shit. But obviously, storyline happened, Triple H wins. but it's like,
Yeah.
God, what a great like. Oh man, when you talk about like peak cinema,
God.
that was it. That
Yeah.
was oh good times.
And let me make something very clear, y'all. This only happens in WWE. There is no other form of entertainment that can get away with this type of stuff. I just want to make that profoundly clear. If in any other fact of life, if they try to do something like this, no, there is no one that's going to buy. There is no one that's going to buy you out. There is no one that's going to sit up there and record the entire thing. No, it happens. You're in jail for real, and there is nothing that anyone can do about it. So WWE is the only one that can get away with this. And I think the fact that AJ, the fact that LA showed up, at AJ's house, man, AJ don't have a good history when it comes to securing his house properly. I mean, I'm just thinking about it off the top of my head. When he had the feud with Samoa Joe's at his house. Oh, Wendy, Daddy's home. I remember that. Like it's like AJ really can't catch a break when it comes to securing his house, man. Get better with his security, dog. I thought, he would have that together by now, but apparently I was wrong. But the feud altogether has been very well spent as far as time's concerned. They took their time with this, and this is an opportunity for LA Knight to have his big shining moment at WrestleMania. I think AJ can take another loss, which is something that he already is notorious for doing at WrestleMania anyways. Hey, look, it's the truth. When's the last time you seen him win a match at WrestleMania? I'll wait.
I have no comment.
Thank you. so it's very nasty to say, but it's the truth. And I think LA Knight gets his moment. I think from there you can propel him into the next match we'll get into, which is the US title scene, and go from there. I just think it's fitting for that to transpire. But I think it's LA Knight, man. LA Knight, yeah. What you got in that one?
What a rise for him is what I would like to say.
My God, yes.
Like dude is like mid 40s and like is not hitting his peak. Like good for him,
man. It doesn't get much better than that. It don't get much better than that. So you got LA in this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're gonna see a lot of pushes this one. I don't see why would AJ win? Like what does that benefit? Like for yeah, I think LA wins. He has a shiny moment at WrestleMania. I completely agree with you.
Okay. All right. So we go from that to the US title match between Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Logan Paul. Now, I don't know about you. I honestly thought they were just going to do Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul, and that was going to be it. I thought that was all it was going to be because that just made sense. Their feud they had up to Elimination Chamber was just so exquisitely done, and I thought they were just going to carry that into WrestleMania. Then you added Randy Orton into the fray, and you know what? I thought about this, and on the DK&Tree podcast on Tuesday, I had said that I thought KO was going to win. I'm now going to pivot. I think that we wake up the following morning and it is Logan Paul that retains the US title.
Yep.
I think he does it. I'm sorry. I know it shouldn't be the case. I know everybody does not like the man, but the problem is Logan Paul has done such a great job in terms of character work and him carrying this feud well, not necessarily carrying the feud because all three of them have done a spectacular job.
Yeah.
But I think, like, stay with me because this division I have. I think that it is Kevin Owens and Orton. They beat the crap out of Logan Paul, like beat him to a pulp. He's a non-factor into the match, and then it becomes Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton. Okay, Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, they go back and forth. It's a whole, okay, all right, yeah, who's really going to win this thing? Because Logan Paul is not going to be a factor. And then next thing you know, they trade finishers, which I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know how that's going to work. An RKO or a stunner into an RKO. Or maybe
it has to be a stunner to the RKO because that's the only way it makes sense. Because you can't RKO somebody and they're still standing, but you can stun somebody and they still stand up.
Okay, so you have that transition. Then after that, both men are like, they have no life left in them, and all you see from the background is Logan Paul come in, swoop in, take the 1, 2, 3. He probably pins Randy Orton. That's fine. It's cool. Pins Randy, and then next thing you know, Logan Paul retains, and we could still continue to feud with him and Kevin Owens. Randy Orton can actually go into something else down the line, which is something that I would be extremely excited about. But that's how I view it going down. That might be in contender for match of the weekend as well, by the way, because those three know how to tear the house down. Yeah, so I have Logan retaining. What you got?
I agree. And the thing is, with them, I think the one thing we got to remember is that WWE is a business. And yes, Logan Paul retaining would be good as a storyline, but in the same breath, Logan Paul taking the U.S. title to that Mike Tyson fight with his brother, I think is even better marketing. So that's why I think that Logan retains. I think that Kevin Owens has been one of the most reliable and safest workers for the WWE. I think that he's proven that with that Stone Cold matchup. And because of that, I just don't see them, you know. I just don't see it. I just don't see the title switching hands to anybody. The only way I don't think Kevin Owens has a shot. I think Randy could, as like a not redemption story, I guess, come back from his almost career-ending injury to have his shining WrestleMania moment. But Randy's been such an established guy for so long that, like, what's the benefit to that? You know?
Yeah. I you know what? And this sounds nasty to say, but Randy Orton winning the U.S. title would be like Rey Mysterio winning the U.S. title a few months ago. Like it just like, it's cool that you won it, but I didn't understand what you were going to do with the title because you weren't going to do much. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want that to be Randy.
Like, it's cool for like nostalgia, but like from a company standpoint, in terms of building up guys, like, again, doesn't make sense. So I don't think the WWE is going to do anything that's bad for business, and I think that this is one of those things that they're just not going to do.
Right. Okay. So as you see here, we have Gunther retaining.
Yep.
We have Logan retaining.
Yep. I have Roman retaining as well.
Oh, okay. We're saving the best for last. All right, cool. I'm gonna keep a pin on that one. Next, we have Io Sky versus Bayley for the WWE Women's Championship.
Queens.
I'm not gonna lie. This storyline, if it wasn't for the whole bloodline situation, would have main evented night one. Unfortunately, it's not. Because this storyline is your classic WrestleMania storyline. It really is. It's literally, hey, I won the Royal Rumble, and I was involved in this group with you. I raised this group up from the very beginning. I introduced the world to you all, to Damage Control. I introduced Damage Control to everybody. We won together, we lost together, but we did everything together. And then y'all turn y'all back on me. Y'all beat me up in pieces, in shreds. And now I'm going through a whole rest of the WrestleMania way of trying to figure out if I'm going to have friends by my side in case they sit up there and interfere in my match. Who can I trust? Who can I trust? The women that you beat up along the way don't want nothing to do with you. They have trust issues themselves. They don't want no parts in being on your side.
Yep.
And it's just Bayley against the world, pretty much. And I think they have done such a great job with this storyline from top to bottom, from beginning to now. And honestly, this is the one championship that does change hands, because I have Bayley winning this one, man. I think you can tell a whole lot of stories after Bayley wins. There's so many different, like Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, Charlotte when she gets back.
I just want to interject and say, how is Jade Cargill built like that?
I don't know, bro. I'm concerned.
Stallion.
Yes.
Thoroughbred.
Bro, I wish I could tell you. I still don't know to this day. But man. And by the way, I'm glad that she's going to have her WrestleMania moment too in that 6-woman tag match between her, Bianca Belair, Naomi versus Damage Control. I think she's going to be highlight of that one. But I think there's so many more stories you could tell with Bayley. Granted, Io Sky's title reign, if we're being totally honest, has been mid at best. And I don't even think that is the fault of her own. I just think there's just been unfortunate missed timings in terms of who got a chance to challenge her, and things of that nature. And it's kind of hard to buy into Io being a credible champion. She outside of her moveset, which by the way is one of the best in the world. It's just her character that doesn't really connect with a whole lot of people. And I think in order for you to be a champion and a champion that people can get behind, you have to have some sort of reason for why we should buy into you. And it doesn't get much better than that with Bayley. Bayley has, I'm just thinking about this off the top of my head. Bayley has had this rise of being the women's John Cena, with all the inflatables and all the pom-poms and all this other stuff, to turning heel, then winning all the championships in the world, gets hurt, comes back as a heel still, forms a faction, wins as a faction, and then the faction turns on her, and now she's going to go after the women's championship, where I do think that she will be winning that match, because I think it's just right. Why retain? Why have Io retain? It doesn't make sense to me, but maybe I'm wrong. What you think?
I'm actually in complete agreement with you. I don't see a reason for Io to retain. I think that something that WWE has not yet figured out is how to have consistent wrestlers of Japanese origin or Asian origin connect with fans on a consistent basis. I think that they knocked out of the park with Asuka and just have not replicated it since. And I think because of that, I think Bayley wins, because that just pumps new life into that division. I'm not saying it's dead. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that there's so much more things you can do with Bayley, especially since Bayley is one unknown name, a veteran in the ring, and has had timeless matches against multiple opponents time and time again. So that's why I'm picking Bayley in this one.
Okay.
Also, right. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know Bayley was Hispanic for like 4 years.
I was today years old when I found that out. Are you serious?
Really? Bro, her full name is Pamela Rose Martinez. She's from San Jose, California.
Huh.
Right.
The more you know.
The more you know. Mexican American.
Huh.
Right.
Shout out to Bayley, man. I was not prepared for that one. Wow. See, we got hidden facts on this show, man. Yeah. Who would have thought?
I think I only found this out on Twitter, I think someone said something like, what Raquel Rodriguez is gonna be carrying female Hispanic wrestlers for the next like decade, some shit. And then someone was like, "You mean what about Bailey?" And I thought to myself, I was like, "What about?"
I thought
Bailey?
it was trolling, right?
Well, I was like, "What about Bailey? Why would this white chick like be carrying, you know?" And then you look it up, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like,
right.
I made an oopsie.
Oh shoot. Okay, so now we're going to talk about a match that wow. I've never seen a feud that's had 4 matches and the 4th one is just as exciting as the first one. Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship with CM Punk, out of all people, on commentary. Look, I swear to God, Drew McIntyre don't win this match. What did they say? They said this. The fans did this on 2 separate occasions. If they did this for CM Punk, actually, when he was going against John Cena back in 2011, main Money in the Bank for the WWE Championship. If Drew loses, we riot. Let me make something very, very clear. If Drew loses this match, we riot. Okay. Well, this is a guy.
Get ready to riot. That's all I'm gonna say.
Thank you. This guy, I don't know how you're able to reinvigorate yourself in such a small sample size of time and be more credible than you ever were beforehand after losing to the same guy 3 times. But Drew McIntyre has found a way to do that. And it's one of those things where if Drew loses, I don't believe in your character. I don't care. I no longer want to care. There's no promo that you can cut. There's no vignette that you could have. There's no character change that you can do that's going to make me believe in you anymore. You have obviously showed me that no matter what you try to do against Seth freaking Rollins, you still can't beat him.
So I thought about this some more. I think McIntyre gets it done so they can set the rematch up for Clash at the Castle.
Ooh.
I have McIntyre walking to Scotland as champion.
Yes, and you still have Seth going after him.
Rematch clause.
Okay. You know what? Thank you. Okay, so here's my vision, right? Here's my vision. Yep. Here's my vision, right? So back and forth. Yeah. Back and forth matchup. Great matchup. Obviously, we don't know how the hell Seth is even going because night 1's main event had him brutalized, beaten, victimized, whatever else. And he's showing up there. He has the whole bandaged ribs. You know, Drew is targeting the back. He is targeting the knee, everything. And next thing you know, Drew McIntyre hits him with a Claymore. 1, 2, 3. Drew has his moment that he's been yearning for since 2020. And we're like, oh my God, Drew has done it. But Drew is also still lying on the ground. And when he is lying on that ground, all you hear is Judgment Day's music hit. And you see Damian Priest running down the ramp with the Money in the Bank briefcase. No one to stop him this time. No one to get in the way. He cashes in. He hits the razor's edge on Drew McIntyre. And your new World Heavyweight Champion is Damian Priest. He finally gets it done. Because remember, I'm only tolerating this as an option because Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre do not like each other. That's been stated time and time again. Over the months, Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest do not like each other. They can't stand each other. They've had countless matches against one another. Can't stand each other. Drew has his moment. I've finally done it. Da-da-da-da. And Damian Priest cashes in, and we have a new world heavyweight champion. And if I see that on my screen, I ain't gonna lie, I would honestly lose my mind. I'm so serious. I don't think there's nothing that I could do unless we get into the last match and you just copy and paste it. Because if that happens, I might have to turn off Twitter. I might have to turn off Instagram. I might have to turn off WWE television for the next month and a half because everything's going to explode. Time will stand still if they copy and paste it for the main event. But that's neither here nor there. What do you think?
Imagine the flip. Imagine Damian Priest tries to cash it in and then fails.
No.
Yeah.
No. I can imagine that though. I can imagine that. You know what? If they do that, it wouldn't shock me if like maybe like a month down the line, they Judgment Day kicks him out of the group like entirely. Because everybody is that what you're thinking?
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, they ended that rematch clause a long time ago. Oh, kind of.
I just said, okay, maybe I used the wrong term. Not rematch clause, but like they're gonna set it up as a rematch.
They're gonna set it up again. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Oh, I'm interested to hear about this butterfly effect of the Damian Priest getting kicked out of Judgment Day because he failed to cash in.
But that's like he goes on like his own like redemption kind of tour. I don't know. I'm just kind of making sure.
Huh. Wow, that is really. You know what? Let me write that down. I'm keeping that right there. Okay, cool.
You're intrigued, aren't you?
I am, because I'm curious how that would play out. Drew, so Damian fails to cash in, and he gets kicked out of the group not too long after that. Rhea's the only champion out of the entire group, so now she really is.
Oh, good point.
The leader.
Demond Dean is coming through with the facts. Much appreciated, brother.
Wait, what? Remember, Andrade is there. Oh, that's where the segue comes in. Okay. I like it. It would suck to have another failed cash in because that would be 2 years in a row, wouldn't it not? Yeah, that's 2 years in a row.
I don't know. I feel like Triple H is like hella unpredictable. Like he's unpredictable.
That's fair. I can't put nothing past that. That's definitely fair. But wow, that is really interesting. That's really interesting. But you have Drew retaining. I mean, you have Drew winning the title.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So we went from having champions retaining to now new champions being crowned. And now we have our main event. Night 2, WrestleMania 40. It's Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. And what we have decided will be in bloodline rules. Brock, I'm going to let you start because I have a whole lot of this silhouette when it comes to this match. I really do.
I don't know. I honestly don't know because, like, do you really have Reigns retaining again? Like, but at the same time, the prospect of Roman versus Rock is so like gripping that oh man, I don't. As much as I want to say Cody, I don't think Triple H is quite done squeezing the cash cow that is Roman quite yet. It's the worst thing because it's the setup, right? City of Philadelphia, underdogs, what's it called? Championships, Rocky, it all like it's all pointing towards a Cody win.
Yes.
And then just for WWE to like set it all up like that, just to pull it out from under us, would be just fantastic in a terrible way. And I think that they're setting up Rock versus Roman. I think Roman retains. I know.
Brock, two times on this show, you have broke my heart, man.
I know.
Thought that you would be the one to know better than this. Okay. I'm going to say this as in plain English as I possibly can. Cody Rhodes loses again.
And it's like another fuck you for creating AEW.
Yes. Cody Rhodes loses again.
I know how like terrible that sounds. I know.
No. I need you to hear me out on this. Because usually if someone loses again, you're like, all right, that just, wrong timing. It happens, whatever. We've seen plenty of guys lose 2 times in a row. It's WWE. They don't keep win-loss records.
Yeah.
But this is a guy who won the Royal Rumble not once, but twice in back-to-back years. Okay? And by the way, and just to put in the perspective of why I'm feeling so passionate about this.
Okay.
I was on YouTube the other day, scrolling through my recommendations. Okay. And I saw WWE pull out they put out their playlist. They have a whole playlist thing where they basically have all the steps it took to get to the match.
Okay.
And they had the playlist for Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. Would you like to guess how long that video was?
How long?
An hour and 20 minutes long. An hour and 20 minutes long. You want to know what that means? That means that they have invested over 2 years of content into this match just for Cody to lose again.
Oh, it's going to be the biggest cock tease in WWE history.
Oh, I'm telling you, I'm shutting everything off. I'm so serious. They cannot afford to do it again.
They're gonna
I'm sorry.
They're going to do it.
I'm sorry. Okay.
They're going to do it.
Okay. So hear me out. Cody has to win for multiple reasons.
Okay.
1, April 7th is the day. It would, I don't know how many years it is, but it's a long time. It would be so many years removed from when his dad went for the WWE Championship at the time, and he won it, but because of count out, he didn't have the opportunity to win the title, to hoist the championship, right? So you have that. The date writes itself.
Yes.
Okay? Cody cannot afford to lose this match because if he does, I've done wasted 2 years of time. I've done wasted 2 Royal Rumble matches. I've done wasted all of the possible swerves there is for this storyline to be.
Mm-hmm.
And if he does find a way to lose this match, I don't care. The fans don't care. Roman's title is going to be extinct because he's going to go into part-time hiatus again, like he did this past year. And you, Cody, you were talking all this stuff about what you were going to do, finishing the story, this, that, and the third. I'm going to hand the title over to my Mama Rhodes, all this other stuff. You were talking all this nonsense this entire time, and you lose again. No one believes in you, bro. I'm sorry. I've lost interest. You could try to be the John Cena of our generation all you want to. It will not be the same because you've lost 2 times in a row with one of the most premium ways of getting there in the process. I'm sorry. I cannot, I refuse to have to watch that, to have everybody to watch that for their very eyes. I can't. I don't think my mind could take it. Cody losing after winning. See, you know what? I would give it a pass if he didn't win the Rumble. If he didn't win the Rumble this year. If he had to go through the Elimination Chamber on top of what he got going on now, and then he just couldn't get it done because his body was just too bruised up and he had to go through hell in the process and he just couldn't do it, fine. I may not agree with it, but fine. You won the Rumble, and then let's not ignore the fact that you were in forgive me, but were cut by The Rock by giving him the title match instead of you.
That's a word.
I'm okay.
Tell me when I'm telling lies. Keeping it real.
Tell me when I'm telling lies so far.
Keep it real. Keep it real.
You gave it up to him. Right?
That got sexual.
Okay. You You did though. You said, you know what, man? I won the Royal Rumble, but you know what? I know someone who needs this moment better than me. I'm thinking of The Rock. You have that. And then if it wasn't for the whole fan base sitting up there saying, we want Cody, if that whole movement didn't transpire, we would still have Rock versus Roman. That actually would still be a thing. I don't care what anybody says. That's exactly what it is. Because basically what WWE is saying is that we're recreating what we did with Daniel Bryan back in 2014, the whole WrestleMania movement, all that. Okay? We're recreating that. Y'all ignited this match to actually be in place. You cannot afford to have all that happen just for Cody to lose. You can't.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. That's the best part about it. Like, it's you hit it right on the head. You've hit every reason why they should, and that's why they're not. They're going to stroke you so hard until you're right there, and then they're going to take a phone call.
Oh wow! This show has officially not been no longer PG nor PG-13. It is now
any show I'm on has lost its PG rating by me simply making an appearance. Like, let's not mince words here.
No. The way you had to say that in a sentence just makes it so much worse.
I know. When I said it, I thought to myself, did I say that?
And then here's another thing, right?
Okay.
If you are going to do Rock versus Roman,
Okay.
that match does not need the title. It does not need. I will say it again. Let me say it through this microphone.
It's not even going to be a match. It's just going to be like 8 finishers. We're going to wrap this shit up in 4 minutes.
This match does not need the championship. It does not need the title. I will say it again. Rock versus Roman does not need the World Heavyweight Undisputed Championship on the line. Okay. All right, now I got that out the way. That's another reason for why they shouldn't do this thing. Okay? Look, here's my vision, okay? Bloodline rules. They're beating the crap out of Cody. Cody doesn't stand a chance. Solo's involved. Jimmy's involved. Rock's involved. Okay? Solo may do the national anthem in the middle of it. Totally fine.
Not
Whatever.
really, but all right.
Hey, look, I know, but wishful thinking. It would make for entertaining television.
Agreed.
Okay. All that's going on. Cody's beat up and bruised. Then Seth limping down the ramp, gets all the way down, starts beating up one of the guys. Maybe he beats up Jimmy or Solo because they just had a match this past Monday.
Yes.
Okay. They're fighting each other. Then you have Jay that's fighting Jimmy. Okay, because that's just poetic. The rivalry just won't end. All right. But it's still Rock and Roman against Cody. And Cody still has not gotten up yet. He's still barely moving.
Okay.
And then all you hear is either one of two theme songs.
Oh.
Either one or two theme songs is being played.
Okay.
Do 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 do. That's option number one.
Okay.
John Cena sprints down the ramp, goes after Rock, rehashes that rivalry, the once in a lifetime that wasn't a once in a lifetime. You have them go back and forth. John Cena, who has on multiple interviews has stated that Cody Rhodes is the next John Cena. He actually shows up himself, and he is having the full Avengers moment on full display. Okay.
Yeah.
That's option number one. Option number two is you hear that glass break.
That's what I'm thinking.
You hear the glass break.
That's what I'm thinking.
Stone Cold Steve Austin comes down the ramp. You could even have his RV in the process. He comes down. He run. Hopefully, he doesn't commit murder in the process. But he comes down the ramp with his RV. He runs over Solo. He runs over Jimmy. He runs over Rock. Okay. Everybody's like, holy shit, what is going on? Oh my God, the place has erupted. Stone Cold gets in the ring, brings Rock in there, throwing up the middle fingers everywhere, going crazy. The crowd's going crazy. He hits the Stone Cold Stunner. The Rock sells it to such an oblivion that it's even worse than he's ever done it before. Because if there is any person that can sell the Stone Cold Stunner, it don't get any better than The Rock.
Yep.
So The Rock is going to sell this stunner. The Rock gets sent over the top rope. Yes, he takes that much of a fall. And next thing you know, Roman's in there by himself. And it is Stone Cold. And it is Cody. And Cody is on one side. Stone Cold's on the other. Roman's in shock. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. He's thinking, okay, who else do I get in here? off some Vince stuff. Can't call a single person. And next thing you know, he tries to take out Stone Cold because, of course, he's old. He needs to get out of there. Fine.
Facts.
But then Cody starts. Oh, I'm talking unleashing on him. I'm not talking about the 5 moves of doom yet. He just straight beating him up.
Yeah.
Here straight beating him up. Okay. Here comes everyone that the bloodline has cheated. Oh, that was so good. That would be mwah, chef's kiss. Okay. But either way, Cody hits him with the Cody cutter. Mm-hmm. He hits him with the 3 crossroads. And all you hear is 1, 2, 3. Crowd goes crazy. Cody wins it. But it's not over. We still have time left.
Facts.
The Rock.
Talk to him.
The Rock arises from the beatdown that he's received all night. Mm-hmm. The beatdown that he's been long awaited this entire time. He finally gets up. He gets in the ring. It's Roman in there by himself. It's just Roman. He's laid out. He's completely depleted. He's done. Over. Rock gets in the ring, helping Roman up because it's a family thing. And then Rock hits him with a rock bottom.
I can see that. I can see that happening.
Rock hits him with a people's elbow. And he's talking so much trash. How dare you shame the family name by losing to this Cody Crybaby? You gonna lose to him? That's who you lose to? You lose to him? You brought so much shame to this family. And I will have everyone turn their backs on you. You are no longer the tribal chief. I am still the final boss, and I am the new head of the table. And sends Roman packing.
So I would like to throw a little bit of a wrench in there. Rock goes for the rock bottom, fails. Roman counters. Roman establishes, even in defeat, this is how powerful he is. Even in defeat, he establishes himself as the head of the table. Following Monday, The Rock comes back to redeem himself. Rikishi is there trying to calm things, fails, launches a bloodline civil war.
Part 2. We can't forget about last year.
And then if they do that, they can set up Cody versus what's his nuts?
Gunther for the title. Yes. Either way, did you hear how great it sounded for Cody winning that match?
Yeah, fuck, that sounds pretty good. But it's kind of like shitty too, because like in the same moment, like that's supposed to be your shining moment, and yet it gets overshadowed by The Rock versus Roman.
Yes,
I'm just saying.
But at least you have a whole match set up for WrestleMania 41, right there. It's
True.
right. It's right there.
It is right there.
And you literally, honestly, you repeat what Rock did when he hosted WrestleMania. I believe it was 27 when John Cena and The Miz were going for the WWE Championship. And Rock got involved.
Yeah.
You can repeat that. I don't think anybody's gonna have sour grapes about it.
Also, shout out to The Miz for for main eventing a WrestleMania.
Oh my God! Shout out to Miz, man. Shout out to Miz. And oh, by the way,
dude has been carrying that company for years.
I agree. And people still don't want to give this man his credit, but we will on this show. But you can recreate that. You really should.
Especially since like Chris Benoit kicked him out of the locker room that one time.
Oh, he was the one that did it.
I think it was him. It's never really been confirmed, but like I think it was Benoit.
That's very ironic.
Yeah, that's like the worst thing Benoit has done. Oh wait, sorry.
Oh.
Sorry. That slipped my mind.
Okay.
I know. I'm going to hell. I'll see you down there, Chris.
I have no idea what this show has become.
Also, I'll see you down there, Grandpa.
What is going on?
It's off the dome.
It's off the dome, y'all.
I thought it hell. I said I think of my grandfather. Hey, you know what? While we're at, shout out to my dad, Mike Vieira, for being the complete opposite of my grandfather.
Oh boy. I'm kind of scared to even unwrap that one.
You don't want to. It's kind of funny in the messed up way.
Okay. Oh boy. That's a behind the scenes thing. That's fine. Oh my God. Wow. Since we're rehashing things that is going into our childhood, we will end this show with the things that we wish we could still do as adults that we would routinely do as kids. Brock, you talked about this one very heavily. Given that you've given this a lot of thought, given the last sentence that you said, you've given that a lot of thought. Please proceed. Oh my God. What are the things that you wish you could still do?
I think that we don't value like the times that we got to like spend with our friends growing up, like sleepovers, hanging out at people's houses. Like we don't do that anymore as adults. Like that's just like socially frowned upon. Like the amount of fun that we used to have with our friends without like alcohol is completely underrated, and I kind of miss it if I'm being honest.
Okay. Man, oh man.
Like,
that's kind of
like living with your parents. I don't have to do this, fortunately, but like living with your parents, it wasn't a frowned upon thing when you were younger. It's actually the norm. Like living with your parents now, it's like maybe not.
Yeah, which is really nasty when you think about it. Like I'm 22, and like the amount of people that would be like,
wait, you're 22?
Yes.
I thought you were older. I thought you were older than me. Oh shit.
Yeah, dog. Yeah, man. And the amount of people that be like those who are in that age range, if you're living with your parents, like you are like the scum of the earth. Like what are you doing with your life? I'm like,
damn.
Time out. How much money do you think I'm supposed to be making at 22 to be able to live sufficiently on my own? What the hell? Where do we cross that bridge? Oh, and we're just gonna ignore the economy being the way that it is now. Oh, okay, cool. We're just gonna ignore that. Housing these days are the way that it is now. Just gonna ignore that that's the thing. Oh, how about rent? We're gonna ignore that that's a thing too. Just okay. Because maybe that's too much. How about what it's like to buy a car? Yeah, that's just something that you can get off the street too, huh? I mean, you probably can, but good luck having to actually drive it for longer than 5 minutes. But hey, by all means. Like the expectation for youth to be doing stuff that 40-year-olds should be able to do drives me nuts. It drives me insane. Cause I'm like, wait, what the hell? What do you mean?
So I think
Huh?
like I speak on this with experience.
Okay.
There's only like 4 ways to like be financially successful like before 25.
Right.
And none of them are like really positive. Like, well, except the first one, which is like have rich parents. Like that always seems to help. But
Right.
if you don't have rich parents,
Yeah.
there's only 3 industries in which you can make a substantial amount of money in a short amount of time, and you're risking something for it. And that is gambling. Shout out to my boy Mark Wilson. We're gonna hit that sports book today. See what we can do. So there's gambling.
Okay.
There's
That's one.
drugs, which is you're risking your
Okay.
freedom, right?
Health
And then
and freedom.
there's sex work, and that's it.
Well done, Brock.
And so I used to be a doorman at a strip club out here, and when I tell you the money I was making then was like, at least in my mind, was like astronomical. It wasn't like crazy ass money, but it was like, fuck, I'm doing pretty good, right? Like it helped me buy my whole computer setup. It was awesome, but
Wow.
yeah, it was great. But at the same time, like I was cool though. But like, so I was at an 18 plus club, so that had a bunch of younger ladies wanted to work there, right? Like fresh out of high school, wanted to make their bag, whatever. Like they there's some nights that were shitty. That just comes with territory. But they definitely made their money. But there was always a cost, whether that be their ability to advance in the world via education, what it takes out of you mentally, physically,
Yeah.
anything along those lines. Like there's that cost to it. And then at the same time, if you're working in that industry and you're only working in that industry, you're leaving a huge gap in your resume if you ever want to transition to something else, right? So
Yeah.
so then it kind of entraps you into that industry, and basically you're kind of stuck there with a work lifeline that's very limited, right? Because as you get older, at 18 it doesn't matter, but let's say if you're like my age, I'm 25, like at that point, what?
25?
I know. Yeah, I'm 25.
All right.
You don't have to call me old as shit. Like that's not that's not what we're trying
No, bro, the same way that you thought that I was older than you, I thought that you were the same age as me. This is insane.
I have youthful Chinese face, which helps out a lot. So, but what came back to my point is that no matter which industry, I mean, if you have rich parents, whatever, but if you go into sex work, into dealing drugs, or to gambling, there's major risks that are in all of them, and you can't really. It's not sustainable realistically unless you're able to somehow generate a second revenue stream. Doing whatever you're doing. And that's why I think that there's this belief, maybe I'm just tripping, but maybe there's this belief in the modern scene that if you're not balling by 23, you're a scrub. When in reality, how can you even be established in a fulfilling career or a sustainable career at that age? Like, that's literally impossible.
I guess that's the one. I guess that's the one thing I would say that, not necessarily that I wish I could do now in regards to being a kid, but I wish. No, actually, if it's a criteria, I wish that having fun wasn't so scary to do. Like, I feel like like you said, like the amount of fun that you could have as a kid without having to involve something illegal in the process, there was so many endless ways of doing that. And and maybe it's just the timeline that, you know, the day that we're living in, whatever, where like you could say, oh well, you know, we're just a little bit more comfortable as far as crime's concerned or things of that nature. But even when we were kids, crime was still stupid high, no matter where you went. But there was still people that was like, hey, you know, let's go here, let's do there. Nowadays, I'm like, all right, so you're thinking about doing this at what? 10 o'clock? All right, where are we going? Okay, how long are we there for? Yeah, nah, I'm gonna stay home. Like, like, and I wish it wasn't that way. I wish we would wrap our arms to it more often, but because people are increasingly, and I mean, I'm not even saying this. I think it's understated how I'm saying this, but like increasingly being more crazy and being unpredictable in terms of like all it takes is for someone to be extremely upset and then it causes a huge brawl, or you know, or someone gets extremely upset and then they pick that opportunity to start shooting people up. Like it be stuff like that you have to take in consideration nowadays that you was not thinking about at 10, 9 years old. You just wasn't.
Yeah, I think that's part of the thing that I think I miss is that childhood innocence. Because I mean, of course, there was bad shit going on when we was growing up, but like it was very easy to like determine who was the bad guy in like any situation, or being able to see situations for the danger that it was presenting.
Mhm.
Now the bad guy looks like me and you. The bad guy looks like our peers because they are our peers, and you have to be even more vigilant about it. And because of that, like it makes the whole human experience a little less fulfilling. It feels like, at least for me anyway. Like I don't know. I always believe if you're going out like late at night, the devil comes at 1:30 on the dot every time.
Why 1:30?
I don't know, but I checked it back. He comes at 2. The devil comes at 2, but like 1:30 is like the time you get out of there. Like if like, you should already be in whatever transportation you're taking home at 1:30. Like not calling it at 1:30.
Actually in there driving.
Yeah. I don't even like to be outside my house past midnight unless I'm working, if I'm being honest. Like something about being out and about at 1:30 in the morning sounds absolutely exhausting to me.
Exhausting is the word?
Exhausting. Like I am exhausted.
Okay. Huh. Never thought of it like that. Okay.
I don't know. You're younger than me, so like I remember when I was 22. But to be fair, no, I was 2021, so never mind. But yeah, so like I don't know. I was just like, I'm just saying, like, as someone who's like worked in the nightlife industry in a variety of like positions in my life.
That's probably what it is. Okay.
The devil comes at 2.
Okay. I understand that now. I appreciate the context. Now that makes sense. Now that makes a lot of sense now. Wow. We covered quite a bit. And I know this was a lengthy show, y'all. But shout out to everybody who has been watching from the very beginning. My God.
That's love. What's it called? I know you do. I appreciate it. The support that we got today has been incredible. Like the people that have been watching us, you know, in that 3 short weeks. Well, more 2 for me, 3 for you. Like it's exciting. I enjoy the show. I love keeping it real, and I'm having a great time.
Yeah, man. So before we get out of here and we have our closing segment, we have some lovely surprises for you by the way of our commercial.
Streetwear is not dead. The next wave of black fashion comes out of the Bronx, New York. Rich Kid Clothing, picking up where FUBU, Rockaware, and Kyle Kanai left off. Rich Kid is for the next generation of Get Fly fashion heads. Use promo code MELLOW23 for 15% off your next order. And for orders over $100, there is free shipping. Again, use promo code MELLOW23 for 15% off your next order.
In 2006, we founded Yeti Coolers with a simple mission: build the cooler we use every day if it existed. One that was built for the serious outdoor enthusiasts rather than for mass discount retailers. One that could take the abuse we knew we'd put it through, out in the field and on the water. One that simply wouldn't break. We decided early on that production innovation would come from necessity and first-hand experience, not from market research and data analysis. Today, Yeti products perform when it matters most. Whether that be an excursion into the remote Alaskan wilderness, chasing redfish on the Gold Coast, or just getting together with friends in the backyard, we make gear that helps you stay out longer, travel farther, and live harder. # built for the wild.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has been one hell of a show with our co-hosts, tandem duo, dynamic duo, Kobe and Shaq, Thomas Brown Jr., Brock Vieira. We're signing off. And as for me, and as for Brock, for those of you for the remaining of this weekend, go ahead and finish that story for us. Shall you? Thank you. Thank y'all so much, man. This is awesome. This is awesome. Again, we are here every Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, doing all this silly shenanigans for however long we need to. Okay. So again, thank y'all so much for tuning in, for watching us. Like, share, and subscribe. We are live on YouTube and Twitch any and all times. Follow at TEAMNBS Media on all platforms. And ladies and gentlemen, finish your story.